before?
Before I begin, just want to say that over the course of my life, I made a habit if I bring a problem to people, I also like to bring a solution. And I emailed all the council members this weekend and asked for an additional 30 seconds to be able to talk about that solution tonight, and I haven't heard back from anybody. So I'm asking if you're going to grant me an additional 30 seconds this evening to talk about a solution to a problem that I'm bringing to the city tonight. So.
Yeah, sure. If you want to get started, and let's make our way through it. And if you need some extra time, we'll
Sure.
consider that.
Sure. I'd just like to say that I could be addressing any city council or county commission in the country right now. What I'm about to say applies to all of them. But I'm addressing you because you're accountable to me, right? This isn't a political statement. I'm neither Republican or Democrat, and some of the things that I'm going to say might offend some people. That certainly is not my intention, but feel free to get as offended and indignant as you want. I'm willing to provide evidence to support the things that the proclamations that are coming out of my mouth tonight, okay? I have a simple and what I consider to be a real effective solution to this Orwellian nightmare that's being thrust upon humanity in general and the people of Lake Havasu specifically. And that is tell the truth. Tell the truth, and if you don't have the courage to tell the truth, then stop lying to yourself and stop propagating and acting on the lies of other people. Let me be clear, I'm not denying the existence of a virus that has killed less people than, by itself than 10,000, according to the CDC. This is not a pandemic. The emergency is over by every definition, but yet we still tout that we're in an emergency and this is a pandemic. The remedy's been worse than the cure by magnitudes, than the disease itself by magnitudes. By magnitudes. You have no idea the suffering that you're causing the people of this community. Have no idea. Why? Because it's not being talked about. The trade-offs aren't being measured. Nobody's talking about and quantifying the impact psychologically, economically, and physically that's having on the people of this community. Nobody's quantifying it. Your COVID task force isn't. I know that. I've been to the site. Okay. Remember the 2.2 million dead that we were told? Remember that figure? Then the guy that came up with that couldn't even believe his own lies and snuck out and went and had an affair with his girlfriend. Then when the numbers didn't fit, they started reducing them. Death count didn't come up, they started reducing the numbers. When that didn't fit, they started changing the numbers and the stats to fit. When that didn't work, we started shifting our focus to case numbers. Okay. Positive case numbers being conducted with tests that have been proven not to be reliable and aren't even designed for that purpose. And yet, we're using positive tests as a metric to allow businesses to open. People that are asymptomatic could have positive tests, right? The numbers are flawed, the stats are flawed. We've been lied to about everything, everything. But the truth's been destroyed. It's been destroyed by pseudoscience, lies, and crystal ball predictions is all I can come up with a lot of this stuff. And it's been amplified by a media who's dead set on gaslighting everybody in this country into believing that the only way we're going to get back to a new normal is with a shot or some kind of a tracking system. That's the only way we're going to get back to normal? Really? That's why, remember 14 days to flatten the curve? That's why we're 6 months into this. Remember that? 14 days to flatten the curve. This isn't going to end. It just keeps getting extended. At the same time, the real medical professionals and scientists that are desperately trying to tell people are getting censored and ignored. They're getting censored and ignored. Thank God there are congressional leaders right now, senators, the governor of Florida. You saw what he said about it, right? It was a mistake, and it'll never happen again, right? We need to have the courage to do that, to say the same thing. As a former police officer, I got lied to every day, every day. Two ways I could tell people were lying to me generally was inconsistencies in their statements and contradictions between what they said and what they actually did. By my experience, that makes Anthony Fauci, the architect of these lockdown measures, a serial liar. Serial liar. He's lied from everything from the severity of this disease to whether asymptomatic people could carry it, whether masks were effective or not, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So let's talk about some of his inconsistencies, specifically with masks. Remember, nobody in the United States should be wearing masks. Now, not here. There's no reason whatsoever to be wearing masks. They don't work. They're symbolic. Remember that? No reason to walk around with a mask. Might make people feel a little better, but it doesn't do anything. Okay? And often there are unintended consequences. Remember him saying that? Fast forward a little bit later, here's Anthony Fauci touting a mask. Everybody needs to be wearing a mask. Everybody needs to be wearing a mask. I wear a mask because it's symbolic. It's an example of what people should be doing. Another lie. Well, you want to see the contradiction between what Anthony Fauci, and I'll get to that here, the contradiction between what he actually believes and what he does. Here's a picture of it, right here. Okay, a lot of times, it's right here, people subconsciously lie. The things that they believe are true come out in their behaviors. And we learned that as police officers too. Right, David? Okay. But there was one crystal ball prediction that Anthony Fauci got right, and that was 3 days before Trump's inauguration speech, he predicted a surprise pandemic, didn't he? Go look. If you don't believe me, go look. Do it for yourself. Don't believe the media. Don't believe your Facebook friends. Go do the research yourself. You cannot afford to be intellectually lazy right now. Not with what's at stake. Okay. The mask. I told you about the mask. Then when he gets called into Congress about his contradictions and his lies on it, do you have any regrets lying to the public about masks? You know what his answer was? We did it because we were afraid that they were going to go out and buy them, and medical professionals wouldn't have them available. Well then, so you lied to go out and basically you told people that masks were effective, and yet you lied to them about wearing them? Which is the lie? It's all lies. He's been lying from day one about everything. You cannot believe him. So my question to you is, what justification do you have taking policy recommendations from a serial liar? Or corrupt organizations like the WHO and the CDC? Go do the research about the WHO and the CDC and the things that they've been involved in the past. Remember H1N1 in 2009? That scare? Remember the swine flu pandemic of '76 where everybody was going to have to get vaccinated? Look at history, folks. Go back and take a look. Okay? We could talk about policy recommendations from a governor who's just spent $3 million of your taxpayer money to support his Mask Up Arizona initiative, right? Okay. Then here we got the public face of Doug Ducey, who's out there touting masks. Okay. Okay. And then we have the contradiction between what Doug Ducey really believes about masks and social distancing and what he does. Right? Okay. What justification do you have continuing to adopt policies from these people? I'm curious. Now let me get to my recommendation. I'd emailed you, David, back in May, asking to meet with you guys to look at another alternative, another perspective, a different perspective from the one you've been fed in your echo chamber. I got no response. Nobody wanted to take me up on it. So my recommendation to this city council is that you form a citizens advisory committee consisting of professionals in this community. We have access to a university system here who can help us collect and analyze data and input from citizens throughout this community, businesses too, that have been affected by your decisions to continue this practice. The other thing that this committee could do is provide, either prove or disprove whether there's scientific evidence to support any of the measures, whether it's social distancing, you know, the 6 foot distance. Why is it not 10? Why is it not 5? Why 6?
Yeah,
Because
we've given you double the time, Greg. So if you could just
okay,
finish up with the
I'll
solutions.
finish up.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
thank you.
I don't mean to take any more of your time.
Thank you.
I appreciate the time
No,
you've
it's
given
just
me.
it's the way the meeting's conducted.
I get
so,
it.
Yeah.
I understand. But that committee's other job would be to either bring you evidence to either refute or support these measures: masks, 6 foot distance, social distancing, all of this stuff. Your metrics for opening and closing businesses. Okay. I cannot. It's absurd to use the metrics that your health department's using now as a decision basis for opening businesses and keeping them open. It's absurd. Okay. If you don't want to do it, that's okay. I don't need your permission to do this. I'm asking to work with the city to do this, and so are these other people here. Okay? You need to see the other side. You need to calculate what's happening to these people here, and it's quantifiable. I guarantee it is. But there are also some qualitative things that need to be brought out. You need to face these people, no mask, and actually put a face to the damage that you're causing here. Okay? If anything that I said resonates with any of you or anybody else in this audience, you have my email address, you have my phone number, give me a call. Give me a call. I'd be happy to sit down and talk to you. Okay? Thank you for your time.
Thank you.